Hi guys, welcome to my channel, The Golden Traveler. I'm Cindy, and today we're going to talk about ways to avoid getting sick on a cruise. Now, norovirus. This is one of the most you hear about on cruise ships. It's a virus that causes vomiting and diarrhea. Now, it's not fun to have this while you're on a cruise or actually anywhere, but norovirus is very contagious and it can be passed from person to person, or it can be on surfaces that have been exposed to it, or through water and foods. So, how to prevent norovirus? Make sure when you arrive in your cabin, the first thing I do and a lot of people do is to disinfect your cabin. I take some travel Lysol wipes or Clorox wipes with me, and I wipe down all the surfaces that we will be touching in the cabin, such as the doorknobs, the sink, the shower knobs. I'll wipe down the desktops, anything like that you're going to be touching. Just wipe those over. Sure, your cabin has been cleaned, but a lot of time those attendants are in such a hurry to turn over to the next cruise. They're just wiping it, and not getting it really good. So it will help if you just wipe down your cabin with those wipes. Also, one of the important things to wipe down is your TV remote control or the telephone. If you're going to be calling for like room service or calling for anywhere, wipe down the keypad and the telephone part you put to your ear, and wipe down that remote. Also, what I do, what I started doing during COVID when we had to travel a little bit, is once I wipe down the remote, I put it in a plastic like Ziploc baggie so it's double protected, and it stays in that baggie our whole cruise. And then when we leave, I take it off and throw it away. But I do that in hotel rooms also. Also on if you're in traveling and you're on an airplane, wipe down the seats, the handrails beside you. I did that when we were on the train last time. Wipe down our area we were sitting at, or in the waiting room in an airport. Wipe down the armrests where your hands go. Just wipe down things, because there's lots of people with sickness traveling. It'll just make you feel better and perhaps prevent getting sick. So just use a lot of those wipes with you, and wipe things down. Now on the cruise ship, handrail precautions. When you're using handrails, such as the stairwells or in the hallways, there's handrails. Make sure you don't touch your face after touching those handrails. Wait until you can wash your hands really good. There's always hand sanitizer around the cruise ship that will help, but it really is just covering that all up. The best thing to do is wash your hands and not just use hand sanitizer. It will work for the time being, but once you get to a restroom, wash your hands. Elevators buttons are another germ catchers. A lot of people use the knuckle of their hand to push those buttons and not use their fingertip, or they'll take a tissue or part of their sleeve, or if they have a hoodie on, and press the button with that so they're not touching them directly on the elevators. Another thing is the cruise buffets. Now make sure you wash your hands right before entering. Most of them have the washing stations right there before you go in. I know our last Royal Caribbean cruise, we had the washy girls.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
And they would follow people and say, please come back and wash your hands, because so many people just walk right through without washing your hands. You may think, oh, I just washed my hands in the cabin, but then on the way there, you've touched the elevator buttons, the handrails, maybe you looked at something in the gift shop. Wash them again before you go into the buffet, and wash them when you leave the buffet. Now, we don't go to buffets because I kind of think that's where all the germs are, because thousands of people are touching those same serving tongs that you're touching and putting the food on your plate. Now, a lot of people have said they do take some disposable plastic gloves with them, or they ask for them to go and serve themselves, then they throw them away before they eat. because if you've touched all those serving spoons and then you're going to sit down and eat, and you're eating things that you're holding in your hand like bread or something, your hands aren't clean. Then you washed them when you came in, but you touched all these things in the buffet. So I just don't find it worth it to go there. But if you can just wash your hands before and after you leave there, that will really help with getting these viruses. Avoid public restrooms. Now, you can't always do that. I know, you're going into a show and you're done and you have to use the restroom, or you've been to the bar drinking and you've got to go to the restroom close by. But if possible, just use the restroom in your cabin if you're close by and you can go back there. Otherwise, just make sure you wash your hands real good when leaving the restroom. I know I've heard that men have said, so many men go out of there and they don't wash their hands at all. Make sure you wash your hands, and I always take like a paper towel or a tissue to open the door when I go out. And normally I've noticed on all the cruises they have a trash can right by the door and a tissue's on the wall, so you can open the door with the tissue and throw it right there. Anything to prevent you from getting sick is really worth it. Now, colds and flu on a ship. Try and avoid colds and flus by boosting your immune system before you travel. We always take Emergen-C. It's powdered. You put it in water, a little cup of water, and drink it. We start drinking that like 2 weeks before we go. I drink it on the cruise, the full length of the cruise, and I drink it at least 2 weeks when we come back to help prevent the cold. It builds your immune system up and just helps with it. Some people take like Cold Ease or zinc with them in case they feel a cold coming on. That will usually knock it out really quick, or some things like that. Also, take some things with you if you get an upset stomach from, say, eating something. I always take the Pepto-Bismol chews because those help with upset stomach, heartburn, and diarrhea, and I get a lot of heartburn. Or Tums, something like that. Make sure you have those with you to help prevent, and take your Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever you take. Make sure you take some of that on the ship with you also. Carry the disinfectant wipes with you, like the Lysol or Clorox wipes we talked about. Just put those in your bag. I usually put those right into my backpack or my tote bag, whatever I'm carrying with me, so that I can wipe down the areas. I also have some hand wipes that are sanitizing in there also, just to help with things. Avoid people that are coughing. Now, if you hear someone coughing a lot and you're sitting by them, move if possible. We had this happen on the train we were on. Thank goodness it was the train going to Seattle, because they don't assign seats on that one. And the lady got in right behind me and was just coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing. So I just got up and moved. This might happen when you're in a dining room. I heard of someone saying they were sitting at a table. The person next to them was coughing so bad they asked the waiter if they could please be moved, and they moved them. So make sure and do that to avoid coughing. If you're in the theater or something, it would be worth it in the long run, probably. Avoid crowded elevators, another thing. Now, usually on cruise ships, the elevators are crowded, especially if you're in the center of the ship or at a certain elevator. So don't get into crowded elevators if you can avoid that. Take the stairs if possible, or wait for another elevator, or go to another bank of elevators on the cruise ship that are less busy. Now, what happens if you get sick on a cruise? Well, make sure you've brought medicine with you for all these different things that could happen, just to be prepared, and start taking them right away. Try to get some more rest, sleep more, don't go out partying and everything. Get some more rest, get more sleep until you feel better, and get some fresh air. Sea air is supposed to be really good for you. If you have a balcony, sit out on the balcony. If not, just go out on one of the decks and sit in a chair by the pool or something, get some sunshine, get some fresh air, and drink plenty of fluids, especially water, to help you feel better. Now, foodborne illnesses. Be careful what you're eating and where in ports. Some ports that we go to, I never eat in them at all until we get back to the ship. I always eat on the ship. Say if we're in a certain place in Mexico, I'm really picky about what I eat down there. I'll eat at places like Cabo Wabo, which is a chain restaurant, in Cabo, but especially those street vendors that are selling the meat or fruit and veggies out of their cart in Mexico. You don't want to do that. Avoid that at all costs. You don't want to get sick down there. And eat it. You can look at restaurants before you go in the ports and see which ones have really good ratings and reviews on them to check them out in the ports. Make sure and take bottled water from the ship with you, or purchase some bottled water in a grocery store, not from vendors. If you're in a foreign country, don't, like Mexico, they might be a vendor selling water. They could just fill those up with hose water, and you don't want to drink water in Mexico. So try to take some off the ship with you, or go to like a grocery store or well-known store and get a well-known bottle of water. Another thing is heat stroke and sunburns. The sun is much hotter when you're on the water, especially in the Caribbean. So make sure you have a good sunscreen with you, plenty of water to keep you hydrated, and perhaps like a wide brim hat. And don't stay in the sun too long. Consider taking breaks if you're going to be out there a long time and going inside and cooling off. If you do get sunburnt, make sure you have something with you like an aloe vera gel that you can put on afterwards. That would really help you. So that's another thing. If you know you're going to be out in the sun before you cruise, if you know you're going to like the Caribbean or warm climate, make sure you have your sunscreen and an aloe vera gel to help in case you get sunburnt. I just recently heard where this man is trying to sue Carnival because he got sunburnt on their cruise ship because Carnival didn't warn him that he could get such a bad burn. It's really silly and ridiculous, but yeah, he's trying to sue them over that. So people, if you do go in the sun, you can get sunburnt in case you didn't know that. Silly. Motion sickness. While most ships these days don't have that much movement, if you're prone to motion sickness, you may still get sick. So make sure you've taken something with you like Dramamine or Bonine, or you can take alternatives with you if you don't like taking that medicine. I don't like taking those medicines. Those probably make me more sick than motion sickness. I don't actually get motion sickness, luckily. So I know there's also some alternatives like the wristbands that put a pressure point on your wrist here. Our last cruise, my son didn't get like seasick in his stomach, but his head started feeling really kind of dizzy and woozy. So he went back to the cabin to lay down, and I just happened to have those. I bought those a while ago and never used them. And so he tried those on his wrist, and it really helped him. So that's one thing. Or you can go to a doctor. They can give you a patch to put behind your ear that would help. And then, like I said before, if you're prone to motion sickness, book a cabin that's center of the ship, lower down deck. And that will help too. Also, green apples will help. So if you're on the ship and don't have anything to take or help you, try green apples. They always have those in the buffets or cafes. Get a green apple, or see if they have some ginger tea on board. Ginger tea will really help. Ginger helps also with that. Hangovers. Well, a lot of people buy that drink package and they try to keep up with their 15 drinks a day or whatever, and then you end up with a hangover. So try not to drink too much. Try not to say, oh, I bought the drink package, so I've got to drink my limit of the day. You don't have to. You don't want to be sick and hungover on a cruise. So when you're drinking, try to drink some water with it. Drink your alcohol, drink water. I always try to do that. Drink in between there. They do have a thing now for the morning after that's called Liquid IV. I've seen those in the grocery stores. It's just a little packet, and you mix it in with water and drink it, and that's supposed to help. So you might want to try that. But there's some tips to help you prevent getting sick, because nobody wants to get sick on a cruise ship. It is not fun. I've been there. Well, my husband, years ago, the neurovirus went around on our ship. We didn't know it at the time. My husband was getting really sick in his stomach, and I was a little bit sick in my stomach. And when we got off the ship, we were in our hotel in Seattle, and we heard that 8 people had been taken to the hospital from our ship because of neurovirus. So we didn't even know that it was going around. They never said anything to anybody on the ship. People were just getting sick, and the cruise line never let us know. So it's not fun. So take something that will prevent all these illnesses. Keep yourself healthy. Wash your hands a lot. Avoid people coughing, and you'll have a wonderful time. So I want to thank you for stopping by today. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe to my channel to help me grow. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again real soon on my channel, The Golden Cruiser. Bye for now.